The background for our hot air balloon is on page 17 in our big blue books. If we turn and open to page 17, we will see it says transport hot air balloon. And just like with the submarine, I'm going to wet my paintbrush, find the blue, and working from left to right, I'm going to paint my whole page blue, covering everything with my watercolor. Remembering not to make my brush too wet as I work, because then my page could tear. And knowing that it doesn't need to be a very dark blue, because we are adding on top of the blue to make our hot air balloon. If you have already watched the transport theme discussion when school closed on the 11th of June, you will be able to find a video link for a hot air balloon. And maybe while you wait for your background to dry, you can go and re-watch that video. So now you should have a nice blue background for your hot air balloon. I'll see you later. Welcome back, boys and girls. Today we are going to do our second page in our big book, where we painted the background for our hot air balloon. For our hot air balloon, we are going to turn our big books around so the folded pages at the top and our faces are at the bottom. For this, you are going to need a bowl that's a circle shape, your pieces of colored paper from your stationery pack, and your glue. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to make the balloon part of our hot air balloon. For this, you are going to need a bowl. Place your bowl near the top fold of your book and trace around the shape. There is where my balloon for my hot air balloon is going to go. I'm then going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw 3 lines dividing my circle so I can make each space a different color. These lines are going to be curved. I'm going to do 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 down the middle. If you read the rectangular box that tells us what we're going to be doing, it says this is paper tearing. So using my 4 pieces of colored paper I got in my stationery pack, I'm going to get ready to paper tear. Remember, boys and girls, when we paper tear, we don't want pieces bigger than our thumb. So to start, I'm going to pinch my piece of paper between my 2 fingers and tear some strips of paper. So I have some nice, even strips. Trying to keep my strips kind of the same size and using my fingers to pinch and tear as I go. Once I've torn my green paper into strips, I can gather my strips together, put them all neatly into my hand, and placing my thumb on the end, tear them into thumb-sized pieces. Thumb on the end and tear them off. Thumb on the end and tear them off. And keep going. Now that I have torn my green piece of paper up into pieces, I can choose which one of my shapes in my circle I would like to have green, and I'm going to fill that with glue. Making sure the glue stays inside my pencil lines. I can then take my green paper and stick it inside my shape, trying to stay in the lines as I work up, hiding all the blue sky background that I painted already. Following the lines like I'm coloring in with paper, working as I go. If I see that I need a smaller piece of paper, I can just take one of the pieces I have and tear it smaller and add it into my shape, working as I go. I do not need the rest of that green. Next, I'm going to do red. Again, I'm going to tear my red paper into strips, pinching the paper between my fingers and tearing it down as I go. Trying to get my strips to be fairly evenly sized as I go. Picking up all my red strips, putting them neatly together, and then tearing them into thumb-sized pieces. I'm going to now fill my next shape with glue. And start working with my red paper, making sure I stay inside the lines as I work, sticking all the pieces I have torn into place next to the green, making sure I cover all the blue as I go. The balloon, now when people go up in a hot air balloon, the balloon has to be inflated, just like when you have a birthday party and mom and dad blow up balloons for you to have at home. But to inflate a hot air balloon, it's not a person who blows into the balloon, but a very special kind of machine that they light, and it's fire that makes hot air that keeps the balloon full. Because I have leftover green and leftover red, I'm going to make a pattern for my hot air balloon of green, red, green, red. You carry on and fill the whole of your balloon, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. When going up in a hot air balloon, the people are carried in a basket that hangs underneath the balloon. So I'm going to draw my basket over here, and baskets have a weaving pattern which looks like squares that I'm going to make and then color in. Then it is attached to the hot air balloon by very strong rope. So now I'm going to take my basket and I'm going to attach it to my hot air balloon on that side and on that side. And I'm going to do the piece that's from the back there, and then it's attached. Then, as I was saying earlier, there is fire that makes the hot air balloon inflate. So I'm going to add the fire over here. There's some yellow, and I'm going to add some red around it. Now my balloon is floating in the sky. So up here in the corner, I'm going to add a sun. I like to add some orange when I make suns. Add the sun. Some birds maybe flying past. A bigger one over here. And one over there. Maybe we should add a nice cloud into the sky. Let's take this color over here and add a cloud. And another cloud over here. And then because my hot air balloon is floating up in the sky, I'm going to draw some hillsides down at the bottom of my page, but fairly small because the balloon is now far away from the hillside. And then I can color it in. If you want to add people standing in the basket of your hot air balloon, you can add that. If you have an idea of something else you would like to add into your hot air balloon, you are more than welcome to add some details of your very own to turn your picture into a work of art that you love. When you are finished, please remember to color in the face at the bottom of your page. And I hope you've had fun making your very own hot air balloon picture.